Oh, it's fine, sir. Ochodi. My dear sir.
Sciences. Please, next one. Let everybody rise for the coming procession. Can we have the national anthem?
Lautech anthem.
Members of the academic community, students of the great University of Technology, Ogbomoso, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, you are welcome to the 5th faculty lecture of the Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences. This morning, we are delighted to welcome you to this hall for another lecture that is very promising. To start a program of this nature, I'll be asked to introduce guests. I'm changing guests to dignitaries. Please permit me to start the introduction and combine that with the invitation to the IDB. And I'll start by recognizing the presence of the Vice-Chancellor of Lautech, Professor Rom Kalilu, represented this morning by very distinguished lieutenants, the Provost of the College of Health Sciences of this great university, Professor Adeniyi. Deputy Vice-Chancellor,
Give it to me.
Development and Strategy, Professor Ọmọlúàbí. Permit me to recognize the presence of the Deputy Vice-Chancellor, Academic and Innovations, Professor Oluwagbemiga. It is my pleasure, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, to inform us that we have the Registrar of the University, who doubles as the Secretary to the Governing Council of the Mrs. Bolaji. I am pleased to also inform you that we have the university bossa, Mr. Ph.D. We are pleased to have with us the University Librarian, Dr. Mrs. Adeniyi. I also have on the article the Provost College of Agricultural Sciences and Renewable Resources, Professor Ebijuwa. That Professor Oluwagbemiga is here to represent the Vice-Chancellor of the University. So please let's give him a round of applause. We also have with us other distinguished members of the academic community and renowned administrators. Permit me to recognize the presence of the persons that are called custodian of Lautech history, Professor Adeniyi. We have the chief leader of the Lautech history community, Professor Prof. I am pleased to inform us that we have some things in the various faculties with us. Before then, I want to please go with the Provost of the College of Health Sciences, Professor Adeniyi. Please stand up for the invitation. We have the Dean of Clinical Sciences, Professor Oluwagbemiga. We have the Dean of Faculty of Clinical Sciences, Professor Bolaji. It is my pleasure to inform us the Dean of the Universities, Professor Bolaji. Pleased to inform us that we have with us the Dean of the Faculty of Pure and Applied Sciences, Professor Michael Osunbade. This morning we said dignities is not gift. And it is my pleasure to confer the rest of Professor Oluwagbemiga. I want to respectfully the presence of the Dean of Management Sciences, Professor Adeniyi. Our topic today is required to the fathers, the background, responsibilizing Ọmọlúàbí ideological orientation in Yoruba parenting discourse. And it is to be by a distinguished Professor Adeniyi, Osunbade. When it is time, we introduced and invited to come to the podium to speak with us. Meanwhile, the welcome address of this morning, the man we call Water is Life, the Dean of Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences,
Vice-Chancellor of this great university, heavily represented by Professor Ebijuwa, Deputy Vice-Chancellor, Strategy and Development, Deputy Vice-Chancellor, Academic and Innovation, Mrs. Olaika Balogun, Bursar of the University, Mr. Lautech, the University Librarian, Dr. Mrs. Ebijuwa, the Provost of the College of Health Sciences, heads of faculties and dean of students, heads of departments, faculty, arts and social sciences, professors present, university and students, created and greeting for. I want to pray that you will invite Professor Gillen Afolabi to the height. Professor Gillen Afolabi is the honor the supervisor of the lecturer of this faculty lecture. Professor this is the fifth in a series of faculty of arts We believe that for the rest of the week, most of the time, I want to stop and appreciate everybody for coming. The sixth faculty everybody for coming. The sixth faculty deliver. The seventh faculty lecture will be delivered by Professor Azim Lani. Doctor Adeniyi or Dr. Oluwagbemiga.
We all permit you to stand on the protocol already established. I don't want to take your time. I must really appreciate the faculty for coming up with great messages. Why did he was speaking the other time? He said the sixth faculty lecture will be delivered by. He didn't stop there. The seventh will be delivered by. The eighth and the 10th. I want to challenge us. Everyone seated here this afternoon. The essence of the university is to engage in academics intellectual discourse that will provoke the thoughts of not only the community members and the general public. It's high time we engage in the primary assignment we are going to do. I want to commend today's lecturer, Professor Osunbade, for the process we are taking forward. I remember something before Professor Osunbade was doing this. I was looking at the topic, a good time is the fathers, the bad one, the others, the responsibilizing Ọmọlúàbí ideological orientation to Yoruba genetic discourse.
The Vice-Chancellor is now, all the principal officers, professors, and distinguished guests here today. I encourage the indulgence of Professor English to please rise as I read this message.
expected to be here. So I will give my protocol as the General of Public Election requires. The Vice-Chancellor are represented by Professor Bolaji. Other principal officers represent. The DVC's strategy and development are father. The DVC's academics and innovation are the brother. The chairman committee of DVC are the brother. Dean of other faculties are present. I was asked to introduce herself and what she would like to become in the future. This little girl took the mic to introduce herself, for example, as Ebijuwa, for example. When I grow up, I like to become a teacher. This logic is complemented, in this instance. We complement parenting with non-parenting logic. And parenting with logic is understood in the context of this lecture as the process of using culture-specific logical principles and philosophies to interpret the world. Scholars have looked at all of this from different perspectives, and of course, with respect to the concept of cultural logic, and of course, some of the perspectives have looked at how African traditional religion, for example, Ifa, has had a number of studies in service grants around Ifa discourses. And I've seen how Ọmọlúàbí is understood in the corpus of Ifa. We have also looked at other contexts of parenting discourse online, how children's language is influenced, how the style of parenting are understood largely. And once on Ọmọlúàbí, I've also looked at Ọmọlúàbí either as a fundamental basis and philosophy of the Yoruba people, or as means of understanding how character attributes are given to Yoruba children. We have noticed, however, that linguistic and humanistic studies have not looked at the nexus between parenting discourse and the concept of Ọmọlúàbí itself, which will be very important. And of course, what has that done? It has sustained the leadership of what I call intellectual linguistic perspective on the traditional father-centered upbringing of the Yoruba. And I keep saying father-centered upbringing. This is because the society I'm looking at, the Yoruba society, is a patriarchal one, which emphasizes the role of the father over the mother in the upbringing of a child. And don't be surprised when the Yoruba father tells you that you bring a child from your father's house. Women tend to be angry, but that's not a question for today. So, to explore all of this, I have looked at the data of what I call parenting-centric aphorisms, okay, in the linguistic repertoire of the Yoruba, and I sampled them, subjected them to interpretation, considered for the message and the content they have, and I have subjected them to some theoretical frameworks in the discipline of discourse, and pragmatics. Those that talked about responsibilization and irresponsibilization, as advanced by some scholars, Kafi, Yekobe. And I've also looked at sociocultural approach to what we call critical discourse analysis, as advanced by some scholars, to look at the ideology that is there and the Yoruba ideology in Fonga. Okay, so the interest is to look at how all of this come together to explain how the Yoruba culture gives the man certain strengths, privileges, advantages in the way they talk about the upbringing of children. In part 3 of the lecture, which I call Discourse, Dynamicism, and Ọmọlúàbí Ideology in Yoruba parenting context, I start by saying that the dynamic nature of parenting discourse discusses orientation primarily towards language-dependent communicative approaches to child upbringing. So everything depends on language and non-language issues. These approaches include 3. 1. The manifestation of failure autocracy as advanced by Adeniyi. 2. We talk about feminine wife as advanced by Adeniyi. And 3. We talk about religious orientation as advanced by so many scholars. In the parents' interaction with their children and the matrix of proverbs, aphorisms, within the man's entity. What do we call family autocracy? So that you don't start sounding like people who use language we do not understand. Okay? Family autocracy itself is a word that can be understood from its morphological discomposition. When I break the word down, you won't get the meaning. That's what I am saying. There are two morphemes. One is called phallus. The other is called autocracy. Phallus itself refers to male sex organ, as described by how the United States. And in this context, it is used as a strategy in literature to use a part to represent a whole. So you have used a part of the human being, a male, the phallus, to represent the whole. So when you say phallus, and you now say autocracy, on the other hand, we now talk about domineering rule of control of the man. So I talked about family autocracy as domineering rule of control of men. Typically, in a patriarchal society, don't forget, I didn't say as advocated by men or as preferred by men, but as advanced by the society. Remember, a man is a product of society and are so living according to the dictate of society. And that's why it's a man that needs to bring young oranges, his families, and every other thing to a woman's house to say, give that to me in marriage, in our context. Why is it that men do not stay in their homes? Why women do not take all of those things, including their own families, to say, let me marry you? Cultural affordances, how the culture has presented. So, within the understanding of that culture, we are trying to say that the man is empowered, which insidiously subvert the status and social placement of the woman in that. We talked about respect for elders. And all of this have become the nuances of that. That we want to look at how a father has helped a home to the culture of the Yoruba. So I look at the theoretical definitions that I have used to interrogate these issues, and these are going to clarify some of the issues I'm talking about. In theory, I have adopted insights from a combination of what I call the concept of irresponsibilization and responsibilization. What do I mean? I've been sounding like that this morning. It is time to clarify them. And you will see that they are so simple. God that we like to talk about concepts that are meta terms in discipline so that we understand how to advance knowledge in those disciplines. And I'm going to complement that with what Bolaji calls social-cognitive approach to critical discourse analysis. In critical discourse analysis, like I said earlier, we tell us how we understand ideology. The ideology here would be Ọmọlúàbí ideology and the male superiority in the Yoruba society, where the man is given rights and accorded power over the woman. So, to clarify what I call irresponsibilization, let me look at capital. Okay, in 2002, 2007, that talks about act of avoiding or sidetracking responsibility. That's irresponsibilization, as simple as that. Avoiding or sidetracking responsibility. Okay, so it describes the idea of act of avoiding responsibility, and of course, sometimes we call it weakening responsibility. You may want to weaken the responsibility of somebody. For instance, it will be tactical, it will be cultural, it will be religious, it will be professional. We will get it and you see how we talk about it. So, this generally talks about practical and purposeful sidetracking of responsibility, either directly, indirectly, or overtly or covertly. So, verbal deployment, for example, are acts of irresponsibilization in the Yoruba society, which help us to sidetrack responsibility. Now, the other one, when we talked about responsibilization, I'm talking about the concept that talks about accepting responsibility, taking responsibility for an action. When it comes to irresponsibilization in this context of Yoruba discourse, it is a way of shifting blame on the woman. When it comes to responsibilization, it's a way of what? Giving credit to men, whereby weakening the responsibility of women and subduing them is a cultural tactic. Okay? Because there's a belief that women use the necessary attitude to a feminine wife to spoil the children and unable to assist them in properly getting the Ọmọlúàbí value that the father wants to entreat on the child. Now, students, you will agree with me that we responsibilize a lot so that it helps you to understand the idea of responsibilization. And in some instances, when it favors you, you responsibilize. What do I mean? You got an A in the course. What will you say? I got A. That's responsibilizing. You are taking responsibility and credit for it. When you score F, what do you say? That is irresponsibilization. You are taking responsibility of your failure on the lecture, which is a strategy of not taking responsibility. Henceforth, learn how to responsibilize correctly and how to be responsibilized correctly. I remember that in the Garden of Eden, the man did responsibilize. When he was found coming from an outward sexual group, he said, orientation strictly, but a strategy that has existed from time immemorial for men. So, stop castigating your brother. Let us say it is how God has created the nuances and nature for men, and who are we to say no to what God has said. When I come to socio-cultural orientation of critical discourse analysis, it says human beings do one thing. They use language to connect with society. So that the structure of men are in that euphoria, helpless in the reality. The woman is the woman in the reality. The term I stand for is called motherhood. The language of my father that I speak is called motherhood. And ladies and gentlemen, they say madam. If I actually call it madam, that is somebody who knows how to handle the magic. But as you say, who now knows how to handle the magic? Woman. And the name madam. So you understand that even though the patriarchal structure tends to give men superiority, the reality is reversed. And that's why you will understand the end of the church. Not actually saying that men hold the children that are good, but saying that men are deceiving themselves by saying so. We'll see where we go. I go to instantiating how responsibilization and irresponsibilization are so achieved in Yoruba aphorism. And I've cited some examples that we have. Aphorism uses this review the manifestation of responsibilization and responsibilization strategies as might be related to the father. So the father either responsibilizes or responsibilizes. Aphorisms that have to do with children, parents. Let's start with the responsibilization and Yoruba Ọmọlúàbí ideology. The responsibilization occurs in the same aphorisms on the part of the father as a tenor-dependent communication strategy. What does that mean? It's a strategy that just tells you that the tenor of discussion is that you are the head of the room. So accept it. Okay? It makes you know what responsibility. Let's go there. In regard to holding the mother accountable. Now, you will now hold the mother accountable. As a father, it's a strategy for a child-social relationship or moral standard. Yoruba ní ẹni tọ́lọ́pàá fẹ́ràn ló ń tì wọ́n. You should not stop the child in that. Now, when you responsibilize, you push the blame on the woman so that she's conscious that, oh, I don't spoil this child. Otherwise, the father's children or family will say that I'm responsible for what is bad. It forces mothers to do what is bad. It is just a part, a strategy. It's not the meaning, but strategy. So let us see how this is done. The responsibilization here occurs in the aphorism when all of this happens. Let's look at examples 1 to 7. The general background is this. When a child does what is bad, whether he doesn't speak well, whether he lies, whether he stole, whether he was rude, and in the context of Yoruba, they want to punish the child verbally, so that the child begins to see how to retrace the step and do what is right. If you chastise the child again, the ideological belief of Yoruba is that the child will not see it as anything. Yoruba ní ọ̀nọ́rọ̀ ni wọ́n see it as anything back. But to hurt the mother in the chastising, it helps the mother to be conscious next time that don't allow your father to do or your father to abuse you again. Do what is wrong. So it's just a pure strategy of Yoruba culture to help mother in parenting culture for mother. A bad one. Emphasis on the bad one to mother. So the child has been named. And in the context of talking to the child, I said, continue. What have I simply done? I have undermined, okay, I have said that this child has misbehaved, and that misbehavior has undermined the good home training the child is being given, right? And the father has decided to do responsibility by shifting the responsibility of the non-Ọmọlúàbí orientation on the mother. Okay, that mechanism is an indirect way of making the mother accountable for the child's bad behavior, which will now make the mother more conscious next time. It will create negativity to the Ọmọlúàbí ideology to say that you are not being an Ọmọlúàbí. It's not fully or wholly your fault, but because the necessary attitude of your mother, who uses feminine wife instead of telling someone is bad, is affecting here. Another example, Òwú tí ìyá gbọ̀n ni ọmọ òun. It is a mother's footstep that a child follows. Say a child, for example, who abuses. Very well. Culturally, the belief is that which gender abuse is more? Which gender abuse is more? So it's Òwú tí ìyá gbọ̀n ọmọ òun. Okay? And people begin to look at the mother as, oh, you are not helping the father in the proper upbringing of his child. So what I see here is, with respect to integrity, discipline, and a few other things. When we contextualize and we say it is the mother's footstep that the child follows, okay? Now the Yoruba child who has insulted or done something wrong will be conscious that something is wrong. The deresponsibilization here has been anchored on what we call ethics. We have shifted the blame there, and we have exited to say, no, you are not completely guilty. Alright? The mother is not completely guilty, but both of you are co-ops. And of course, let's see when next you want to do that if your mother will not guilty portion. And when that happens, you are beginning to understand how a speaker, the Yoruba father, will be invoking what we call authoritative cultural value of the Yoruba to mask his utterance as, of course, talking about negative behavioral prejudice attributed to the mother. So it's not a negative prejudice from the father. It's a tactic to train both the mother and the father. Because the father is who he was, the teacher, the headmaster in the family, while the mother is not the teacher. And sometimes the headmaster can chastise the teacher too. That you are not doing your work well. I said you are not working. And you are not working because you are not seeing the result of your work. So in this instance, we talked about now, here the belief is that the child has been influenced to misbehave by the mother. Right? And of course, the responsibility has to say that the woman's parenting skill, parenting status has been subverted so that she begins to take responsibility for that. It is not in all instances that we talk about women being chastised, being insulted, being abused indirectly, or being subjugated. But there are instances which does that even stronger than the first. I said a more interesting responsibility, which unfortunately denigratingly subverts the woman's role in parenting, This also supplies the human soul. And in giving them up is in a situation where you have a behavior that undermines the kind of Ọmọlúàbí ideological value again. In an instance where a man will say, or Yoruba culture will say, Ifoya Elegade. Literally, if you say you mean viscera, they literally will say, you have ingested your mother's system. In a context like this, their both contrast is typically therapeutically used to hold the mother accountable for the child's negative residence of Ọmọlúàbí with respect to either poor social relations, maybe she's not relating well, she sees the father's friends and he speaks language that is not for them, and etc. Indirect mechanism to, by indirectly involving the mother in an inexcusable way, shifting responsibility of Ọmọlúàbí in past parenting to her. Now, by sidepacking responsibility in this discourse, following in his behavior, which questions the child Ọmọlúàbí ethics, and condemn the negative behavior of the child, you will see that the father has blamed the mother for the child condemning behavior. Now, the responsibility can also manifest in a more assertive implication and condemnation of the woman, aided by cultural values necessitated assumptions, not us, but cultural values necessitated assumptions about a child condemning behavior. This is common. We can men in Yoruba will assume responsibility to the advantage of men by indirectly subverting the rule of women too. You can hear Ọmọlúàbí if your words is too really barbaric. It is only a bastard that describes the direction of your father's compound through negative left figure or gesture as case may be. Another says, kí ilé bá ń tòrò, kí ni Ọmọlúàbí ló ti ta? The second says when the house is peaceful, it is because the bastard in the house is not yet of age. Now, let me engage these two examples. And example 4 illustrates a Yoruba father's responsibility delivery of presumption of the mother's culpability. Underline, presumption. He has not said that the child is anomaly. It is just a presumption of the mother's culpability in the child's poor behavior. The child is not Ọmọlúàbí behavior. Okay? As typical of an illegitimate child. They are not saying that illegitimate child. Now that is the typical behavior of an illegitimate child. It's still arrangement. Okay? You don't want to be seen as an illegitimate child, behave well. Mother, you don't want them to think you have brought an illegitimate child, train your child to behave well. So the idea is to say that men use rather a macho-centric model which disempowers women by indirectly holding them accountable for the children's negative orientation to Ọmọlúàbí. And when that is done, okay, the father demonstrates responsibilization as a sensible way of holding the mother accountable, and such presumption will caution the women. Of course, it is to be understood that the position in example 4 and 5 is reinforced by the Yoruba belief that it is only the mother that can actually save the real father of the child. So in some quarters of the Yoruba, when a child's mother dies, while people are actually consoling, they say congratulations, you are now a true born. So until your mother dies, before we can ascertain whether you are a bastard or a true son of God. Actually, money here, the child died by sheep does not do 10. Hence, the sheep translates to meekness and proper conduct, reminiscent of the Ọmọlúàbí ethos, while the goat stands for stubbornness and unethical conduct, that the goat is known for. However, Yoruba men are aware that such a child, turned bastard, on account of non-correlation to Ọmọlúàbí ideology, it's not necessarily giving back to her mother for another man. We know. But that the child behaves like a convert, that is, a child who fails to lead to home and thus condemn people as class. So the responsibilization occurs as a typical Yoruba father would want to shift the responsibility of proper home training on the wife, whom the Yoruba culture will not stop indicting. Notice, the Yoruba culture will not stop indicting the wife over a child's bastard behavior. Will not. It is cultural. So, in example 6 and 7, however, this is how the tension of women and made them smile. The manifestation of this responsibilization attenuates place for children negative orientation for the women. Attenuates that is reducing the guarantee, the anonymity, the false ability of the blame of women. Let's have it. One, almost local provider. This is different. So it's not enough cases that the irresponsibility is asserted. In some instances, yes, it is attenuated. Okay? The second one, assono for the assono for the a child that dedicated by the roadside. What does he invite to do? Causes or implications onto the mother. So in the scenario you have here, in which a child is not being either divorced or has done something worse, for example, you will see that Yoruba will chastise the child as, oh, you lack home training. So the father who possibly witnessed the scenario will angrily then address the child with such an authority. Either the one is 6, almost or the one is 7, now, whichever the case, you will see that in 6, the aphorism in 6 and 7 are applicable in almost same context, and sometimes in slightly different context. In this instantiation of the father's responsibility in the context of parental discourse, the presumption was that he was the child who failed to lead home training, not that the mother did not train, not that the father did not train. So, with that, the child became misbehaved, and not that the mother had not trained him well, and not that the mother's Ọmọlúàbí approach is also challenged. No, it's not. However, the implied exoneration of the mother irrespective, the mother was being indirectly held accountable for the child's presumptuous behavior in the non-demonstration of acceptable Ọmọlúàbí training. So, if the responsibility is represented by a misbehavioral context leading to doctrines in 7, such implication inviting blame, that is, the blame on the mother, that are claims of causes, okay, will not be given to the child alone, but it becomes a big reproach on the child, though an indirect blameability on the mother. So the mother is still indirect blame, however you see it. Of course, generally, in some contexts, as the mother's indirect blameability, where she is actually culpable. Note, in some instances, some mothers are actually culpable. Some are not. And in fact, many might not be. At least many are not. Many might not. Okay? It's actually due to laissez-faire attitude to Yoruba values and traditions. Like Ideological. So, Westernization has come, and as a result, we can undermine some of those. Whereas, undermining is selling away our own religious and cultural values, and by so devaluing them, we are losing enough positive aspects of parenting. Now, I do want to say that this instantiation of responsibilization in societal authority-induced interaction as typical of Yoruba context of parenting is significant for revealing how the father's role, strength, and insistence assist in instilling Ọmọlúàbí ideology. Now let's go to responsibilization and Ọmọlúàbí ideology. Why I will be close to the end of the lecture. You see, I put it this way. Responsibilization will manifest in our data as in fathers underline failure of comprehensive influence, teaching, and cultural price sensitive communication strategy. 2. Failure of comprehensive influence and demand. Society system. So I'll take it. Okay, I'll give credit to the woman and take credit for good things. Second is price sensitive communication strategy. So as a man, the structure in social cognitive orientation is that, yes, as a man, the ego of the man comes in, your conscious pride of being a man. Your child of 2 years will tell you, or 3 years sometimes, or will tell the sisters that I want to remain and so on. It's the men that are coming. After all, we are the owner of the home. You will go to your father's house. I watched a movie Sunday, and they were to go to church. A 4-year-old child, son. The father was at home, he didn't want to go to church. So the mother had prepared the daughters and they were on their way home. So when they had the boy why he had not taken his bath, he said, I walk over that one. Get that thing, don't get me alone. I walk over that one. So daddy is not good. I'm also, who told you you are all good? That was what the mother said. And in real sense of it, is it not up to me? It is an unconscious ego in the men, the pride that the society has to and cannot achieve. So maybe that's why people say God, after all, is a male, because the voices and the languages point towards the confidence of masculinity. So let's see how some of this now play out in the Yoruba apology that gives credit for man. Ọmọ tó dára ní ti bàbá, I go back to that example. Èyí tí kò dára ní ti bàbá. Now I'm taking the first part that energizes the man. You know, the first time we took the second part that delegates the woman and subverts her. So we are taking the part that energizes the man. So a good child inspires the part to mother. Now you see the apologies here. Number 9. Ọlábàtà ni mo lò sọ. Ọlábàtà ni mo lò. Again. It's literally interpreted as the river bank has come to full of the river. It is the honor of the father that inspires the honor of the father that inspires the child. Okay, so look at those. What have men done? They have taken credit, responsibility for the child's good behavior, the child's positive orientation to Ọmọlúàbí. In one instance, it is good behavior. Okay. It shows a typical imbalance of direct and frontal decision that is less item. Constructed by activity accountability for the child positive behavior to self. Clearly, a good child is father and a bad one to mother, of course, will tell you that a father is given unreserved credit for a child's acceptable behavior, thereby taking the glory for being the family head, whose name is being positively projected. Let's see this. Though it is usually defined as a compound sentence, yes, the second part indicates that a child may not do well if the mother indulges the child. And the first part, unapologetically credits the father. You know. So, the moment you have it, the lesson is this. The child is blatantly charged to orient towards positive Ọmọlúàbí ideology, as typically expected of a well-grown child with the Yoruba patriarchal orientation. Thus, the responsibility of the child's behavior is credited to the father. Because, as you will see much time in my conclusion, children are more scared of the father. And that structure assists in instilling discipline. And the mothers mostly involve that structure too when they need it. So it is co-parenting or mutual parenting for safe orientation, but with other strategies that might not be friendly on the way. Also, the instantiation exam is an interesting strategy that indicates that a Yoruba father's responsibility, or a Yoruba father, responsibilizes himself on the child's adherence to some moral values, being soft skills that impact on successful academic and professional endeavor. That's why we hear Ọmọkùnrin, never hear Ọmọlúàbí or whatever it is in Yoruba context. Okay? It's on overt reference to Yoruba cultural metaphor. The father in question consciously, again, unequivocally conveys the message of the father's credit for the child's applaudable behavior through a macho stance. It's a macho stance to say it is the honor of the father that inspires the child. You know, the honor of the mother will inspire. After all, which name are you bearing? You don't inspire them. It is a name that inspires you. Right? I hope there's no form of feminine rebel, feminine wife, and macho, autocratic disorientation. Now, we move on to say this responsibilization strategy does typically attribute inspiration or motivation of the child towards success to a strictly father's aided act. This is the Vice-Chancellor, dignitaries candidates, my conclusion points. The Yoruba aphorism, ọmọ tó dára ní ti bàbá, èyí tí kò dára ní ti ìyá ẹ̀. The good child is the father's, the bad one the mother. In the title of this lecture, underline it, does not undermine the roles of women in parenting Yoruba world. It doesn't undermine the role of women in parenting in Yoruba world. What does it do? Rather, it is a biblical Solomonic strategy, wise strategy, of alluding to what I call parenting with love and cultural logic, where the love is metaphorized as the attitude that encourages responsibility, and the patriarchal structure of the Yoruba society, would enforce that in a child. Why parenting with cultural logic from the perspective of unique logic? Before Yoruba's notion of discipline, which the fear of a father naturally evokes in a child. Even at the mere mention of the arrival of the father to the naughty child. So the child uses the push and pretends to do what is right, as if not doing it at that time. So you invoke the imagined structure when you want the child to do it. But when you don't want the child to do it, you can condemn. No. So the stance here is simple. Thus, in the Yoruba culture, the belief is that discipline, mostly enforced by the father, largely aids responsible behavior in children, and it helps them to grow in maturity. Once these are achieved, a great portion of the parenting task of the Yoruba parents will be seen to have been achieved. To check my stance, let me emphasize that for the Yoruba, the right way a child is to be trained is to invoke the patriarchal structure of feeling credits of a child's behavior to the father, whose fear, as well as less sentimental and less empathetic parenting styles, are constructively valued. So the essence is not to demean women. We have to tell you that your parenting styles are rather not too sentimental and too empathetic. It is love that is too permissive. And when it is a permissive love, the children will not do relate. So the men's approach in cultural logic is love should not be too permissive. And that is what we are preaching. We believe that the best thing parents can give their children are opportunity for a joyful, productive, and responsible upbringing. There have been evidences, we are not saying in all cases, there have been evidences that the Yoruba philosophical approach to parenting with love and cultural logic, as embedded in their policy evoked in the title of this lecture, has largely helped to achieve those results. Again, has largely helped to achieve those results. It must be emphasized, however, in favor of women, that this traditional patriarchy-centered approach to parenting is not foolproof in all cases. It doesn't work every time. But it is one that has offered evidential success in most situations. Perhaps one of the advantages is that it does not give room for feminine wives, while simultaneously stamping failure or progress. So it doesn't allow you to take away the superiority of the man from society. Especially to prevent women from using their wives to mislead the children as if misled Adam in the Bible and led Adam to be responsible when God asked him why he did it. And let's something from women. When their male children are being as manly as the culture says, that's the time. When the wife of their son changes it for them, the child, that woman will never go back to the house. And your father's son. Ladies and gentlemen, barring this jocular analogy, actually, I hereby emphasize that the aphorism is just a man flaunting strategy in Yoruba society while parenting children. And it is targeted at bringing out the best in children. Contrary to the initial assumption of saying the title of this work, it is not a woman condemning one. After all, in reality, it is a man who largely brings men's sacrificial effort on the children. Hence, the Yoruba saying, it is a child who makes money that the mother raises. To give some convincing view here, you would see that all beautiful, lovely, and encouraging songs are from the mother. The audience can give me one. Oh, what is Pura? Gold. That ornament you preserve. It is that big place and right? The fragility of adrenal feeling and affection for men. If these are the realities, and the song that is most popular for men is after death. A good child in fathers, a bad one in mother. It's a mere egoistic consolation for Yoruba men, irrespective of its value of body. I submit. Interestingly, this lecture has thus advanced position against indigenous knowledge devaluation with respect to macho-sensitive language use for parenting benefits, while simultaneously projecting the liability of the Ọmọlúàbí system of governance in Yoruba parenting discursive context. The Chairmanship, my Vice-Chancellor, distinguished audience, let me end this lecture on a rhetorical note by asking this question. Since the Yoruba culture largely credits only men rather, for a child's positive orientation to the Ọmọlúàbí value, while blaming women for the opposite behavior. Should Yoruba women then reactively leave parenting with the Ọmọlúàbí culture for the men alone? I leave this as a food for thought, but with the caveat that when in Rome, do as